Love, peace, save life. Praise the Most High. Soon it will be our Passover. Who knows what's gonna happen? Gotta keep on the grind, keep being calm. Good to see you, Mandy and you, at the cafe. Good to see my neighbor, congratulations to you. You have had a baby. Congratulations to you and your wife. We saw some nice people in the community. We went on our tribe. Yeah, that's right. The weather was nice today. 10 degrees, no rain. No rain. Good to see you, Matt and neighbor. You're always working hard, you and your kid. Yeah. Welcome, you know, it's scrolling back to ministry. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell to see all my latest content. Okay, we're gonna blow the shofar. This is for the widow, the needy, the outcast, the stranger, the homeless, thirst for injustices. Praying for the end to come soon, man. Second Exodus, may the Most High bring a second Exodus for us soon, man. Alright, let's go. Let's blow the shofar. Let's go. Praise higher, higher, living creator. Alright, let's start with the Lord, man. Hope you all had a wonderful day today. Alright. Okay, what you're looking at there is the ephod. There's my ephod. High priest of Israel. Love, peace, save, love sign. King David, the true Messiah, man. Alright, get a pen and paper and your Bibles and learn for free. If you got the Apocrypha book, grab your Apocrypha book as well, because I'll be reading from that as well today, people. Okay, love, peace, save, love as well. The wicked book, governments, put your weapons down. Okay, praise high, high for the perfect law. It is not done away with, man. Right. Before I read this, forgive me. I knew there's something I needed to do. So I'm going to read this information here. 14th day of the first biblical month at evening. Passover information. Okay. Reference Exodus chapter 12, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 5. Observed at evening, April the 4th. Yes, I, my boy. Just before sundown. Okay. And after that is Feast of Unleavened Bread. Meal deal. 15th to the 21st days of the first biblical month. Reference Leviticus 23, verses 6 to 8. Yes, I, cafe, my boy. Yes, I. Begins sundown, April the 5th. Ends sundown, April the 11th. Feast of Fruits, 16th day of the first month. Reference Leviticus 23, verses 10 to 14. Observed April the 6th. Feast of Weeks, Shavuot, 50 days after first fruits. Reference Exodus 34, verses 22. Observed May the 25th at sundown. Okay, the ones who took us prisoner of war changed times and laws, as it states in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verses 25. They changed times. They changed it from the original Hebrew calendar to the Gregorian, the Luciferian calendar, which is set up against higher, the living creator. Okay, people. Okay, let's start with the law. To know that higher, so Lucifer took the Most High's name out, man. Him and his minions, man, look. So they should say higher. Okay, to know that higher exists. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 6. Not to entertain that there is any power but the eternal. Okay. Remember, he's not a god, yeah, he's a creator. Okay. There's only one creator. Not to blaspheme, Exodus chapter 22, verse 27, the penalty for which is death, Leviticus 24, verse 16, and to hallow Higher's name, Leviticus 22, verse 32, I am, it's Paleo Hebrew. A wonderful book, man. Okay, we're going to read from the book of Exodus, and then we're going to read a little bit from the Apocrypha as well. Okay, so we're going to start with Exodus chapter 4. So Moses answered and said, "They will not believe me." So the Most High came to Moses in the form of a burning bush, and then he said, "You got to go to Pharaoh and tell him to set my people free, man." And then Moses said, "They will not believe me nor hear my voice, but they will say, Higher has not appeared to thee." Then he said to him, "What is that thou holdest in thy hand?" He answered, "A rod." Remember there, snake and a rod, man. Okay, the serpent rod. Okay, in the medical industry, for NASA's symbol. Okay, just Luciferians, man. And also the Vatican as well, and behind where the Pope sits, man. Subliminally, there's a serpent in the background. Okay, and Hoya said, "Cast it down upon the ground," and he cast it down. If you know the rest of the story, if you can continue reading, you'll see that the Most High's serpent, which it was Moses' staff, and he cast it to the ground, but his staff turned into a snake and it ate the Pharaoh's magicians' staff snakes, which was a sign to show the Most High is more powerful than them. Do you understand? He cast it down and was turned into a serpent, so that Moses fled from it. And Hoya said, "Put out thy hand and take it by the tail." And he put forth his hand and took hold of it, and it was turned into a rod, that they may believe, says Hoya. And Hoya, their power of their fathers, the power of Abraham and Isaac and of Jacob, has appeared to thee. Moses' hand So Moses' hand turned to leprous, and Hoya said again, "Put thy hand into thy bosom." And when he had put it into his bosom, he brought it forth leprous as snow. So I think he lost his melanin, man. In the sun, he put it in, and he lost his melanin. You understand? Because melanin is obviously a protection from the sun. So it could possibly be looked at as like a curse to not have melanin in the sun. Like, some Israelites don't have melanin either. Like, I'm just saying, um, that's what I think happened there. You understand? And he said, "Put back thy hand into thy bosom," and he put it back and out again. It was like the other flesh, so the same color again, the same color as the other flesh. I also wanted to bring forth. So I'm going to continue. Forgive me. It's verse 8. "If they will not believe thee," says he, "nor hear the voices of the former signs, they will believe the word of the latter sign." And if you remember, like, this happened in the Americas, man. So Pharaoh was a melanated individual, Negro, or a melanated individual, and Moses and were Negroes, man. You understand? The Israelites. So it would have been a shock for your hand to be turned like snow in front of other people who were also melanated, even if they were heathens. Do you understand? So Moses is appointed to assist. So Aaron is appointed to assist Moses. Moses said, "Remember, I was Moses in the past life, man. Remember, I stutter, man. I stutter, man, sometimes." Moses said, "I beseech thee, Higher, I am not eloquent from yesterday and the other day before, and since thou hast spoken to thy servant, I have more in impediment and slowness of tongue." And Hoya said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Or who has made the dumb and the deaf, the seeing and the blind? Did not I? Go therefore, and I will be in thy mouth, and I will teach thee what thou shalt speak." But he said, "I beseech thee, Hoya, send whom thou wilt send." And Hoya, being angry, there's lack of faith at Moses, me in a past life, said, "Aaron, the Levite, is thy brother. I know that he is eloquent. Behold, he comes forth to meet thee, and seeing that thou shalt be glad of heart, speak to him, and put my words into his mouth, and I'll be in thy mouth and in his mouth." So basically, he used Aaron. But yo, check out now, yeah, the book of Joshua. So if you haven't got an apocrypha, go and get one or read online, man. Joshua 70. This is why Moses had a stutter speech impediment. It's because of this story here. Okay, chapter 70. This is when he was a baby now in Pharaoh's house, in Pharaoh's palace, And goes on to read, and in the 3rd year from the birth of Moses, who is 3 years old, Pharaoh was sitting at a banquet when, I can't pronounce that, forgive me, man. Ilpirninith, the queen, was sitting at his right, and Bathenia at his left, and the lad Moses was lying upon her bosom. And Balaam, the son of Beor, with his sons, and all the princes of the kingdom were sitting at the table in the king's presence. And the lad stretched out his hand upon the king's head, and took the crown from the king's head, and placed it on his own head. And when the king and the princes saw the work which the boy had done, the king and the princes were terrified. And one man to his neighbour expressed astonishment. And the king said unto the princes who were before him at the table, what speak you, and what you say, O you princes, in this matter? And what is to be the judgment against this boy on account of this act? And Balaam, the son of Beor, the magician, answered before the king and princes, and said, Remember now, O my lord and king, the dream which you did dream many days since, and that which your servant interpreted unto you. Now therefore this is a child from the Hebrew children, in whom the spirit of hire, and let not my lord the king imagine that this youngster did this thing without knowledge. So it's basically, he knew what he was doing, man. For he is a Hebrew boy, and wisdom and understanding are with him, although he is yet a child, and with wisdom has he done this, and chosen unto himself the kingdom of Egypt, man. You best believe, man. And this is the manner of the Hebrews, to deceive kings and their nobles, to do all these things cunningly, in order to make the kings of the earth and their men tremble. Surely you know that Abraham the father acted thus, who had deceived the army of Nimrod and king of Babel. And let's go down a bit, man. Yeah, I'll get down to the point, man. So basically, therefore, 18, therefore my Lord King, behold, this child is risen up their stead in Egypt, to do according to their deeds, to trifle with every king and prince and judge. If it pleases the king, let us now spill his blood upon the ground, lest he grow up and take away the government from your hand, and the hope of Egypt perish after he will have reigned. And Balaam said to the king, Let us moreover call all the judges of Egypt and the wise men thereof, and let us know if the judgment of death is due to this boy, as you did say. Then we will slay him. And Pharaoh sent and called the wise men of Egypt, and they came before the king. And an angel of hire came among them, and was like one of the wise men. So he looked at the angel of the Most High, just blended in like one of the wise men. You understand, man? A wise man of Egypt. And the king said to the wise men, Surely you have heard what this Hebrew boy has done in the house. House has done, and thus has Balaam judged in the matter. Now judge you also, and see what is due to the boy for the act he has committed. And the angel, who seemed like one of the wise men, he looked like one of the wise men of Pharaoh, answered and said as follows before all the wise men of Egypt, and before the king and the princes, If it pleases the king, let the king send for men who will bring before him an onyx stone and a coal of fire, and place them before the child. And if the child will stretch out his hand and take the onyx stone, then we know that with wisdom has the youth done all of what he has done, and we must slay him. But if he stretches out his hand upon the coal, then we will know that it was not with knowledge that he had done this thing, and he will live. And the thing seemed good in the eyes of the king, because the Most High was always in control, man. The word of the angel of hire, and he ordered the onyx stone and the coal to be brought and placed before Moses. And when they placed the boy before them, and the lad endeavoured to stretch out his hand to the onyx stone, but the angel of hire took his hand and placed it upon the coal, and the coal became extinguished in his hand, and he lifted it up and put it into his mouth and burned part of his lips and part of his tongue, and he became heavy in mouth and tongue. Understand? And when the king and the princes saw this, they knew that Moses had not acted with wisdom in taking off the crown from the king's head. See, that's why he had a speech impediment, man. That's why I thought I'd share that story with you, just in case you didn't know. Understand? Now, I going to show you really quickly. This here, I'm going to read another scripture, but the law, Torah, Papa Ball now, yeah. So check out this Papa Ball here. Non parum animus noster was a Papa Ball issued by Pope Alexander III. Yeah, Alexander III, man. Mentioned the Book of Maccabees. That's why the Catholics took it out, man, on either the 2nd of September, 1171, or 1172, to promote the Northern Crusades, man, against the pagan Estonians and Finns. It was addressed to the ruler and the people of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, and begins with. So check this out now, yeah. Let's go to Maccabees. It came to pass after Alexander the Macedonian, the son of Philip, who came out of the land of Chittim, okay, and struck Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. And it came to pass that after he struck him, that he reigned in his stead in the former time over Greece, and he fought many battles and won many strongholds and killed the kings of the earth. He came into our lands, man, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of multitude of nations, and the earth was quiet before him, and he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered together an exceedingly strong army, and ruled over countries and nations and principalities, and they became tributaries to him. See, that's why they took it out, man. I don't want you to see this truth, man. Do you understand? The book of Maccabees speaks of Alexander III, and it also speaks of Antiochus Epiphanes as well, man. All right, part 2 coming up, people. Part 2, yeah, we're going to be doing the human rights next, okay, people? Coming up, man, coming up.